After game one, you kind of went right to the physicality is the biggest thing. Did you notice that from the jump, and did you feel like that was the biggest difference between the two?
We were very physical tonight, as were they.
What do you think, adjustment-wise, what was something that you felt like worked for you guys as you held them to in the low 80s in points?
Again, we were physical. I think, playoffs require a different level, and like I said pregame, it took us about 2.5 quarters in game one to get to that level of physicality.
JJ, it was I think midway in that third quarter, they cut it to 11. You seemed like you were trying to get you guys to run a play, sideline, you call timeout, pretty animated. Because what led to that frustration, and what did you think of the response from the team to, I think, increase the lead back up to 20 in the aftermath of that?
Not frustration, just coaching. I think when we were organized in the right spots, we ran some good stuff, and frankly, I thought we missed some open threes. AR got some great looks. So I mean, other than just a couple kind of disorganized plays, we played good offense tonight, and I just there was you as a coach, you can see it coming when the other side of that is on the horizon, and it was building, and just wanted to make sure everybody was on the same page.
Just to kind of follow up on that, you guys had 58 points in the first half, 36 in the second half. How much of that was just you felt like the shot quality was good and missing open looks?
I don't know what our turnover total. I know we had at least one shot clock violation there in the fourth, and I don't know what our turnover total was in the second half. But I mean, I can think of 5 or 6 plays. Bron twice from 4 feet in the paint, Rui at the rim. LeBron from the corner, Doe with a couple great looks from the corner. Again, we're going to live with that process and live with that result, and I think it's fair to say we won the game with our defense tonight, but our offense had a lot to do with that. Not allowing them to get out in transition, and when they did, as AR did late in the game, taking the charge, we were able to stop them from scoring, or in some cases stop them from even getting a quick shot up, and then they had to run half-court offense. So I just think as much as it was the defense tonight, our offense actually helped quite a bit with some of the transition stuff.
JJ, Rui got, to your right, Rui got banged up. He has to put a mask on. At one point, he throws the mask off, keeps competing, gets fit for another mask, and he's battling on the block. He's going into the lane on offense. He's trying to get offensive rebounds. Just how do you think his effort typified the shift you guys wanted to see in physicality tonight?
Yeah, he played like a warrior tonight. I'm sure that he's probably in the X-ray room right now. But he did a lot of really good things. I think when we watched the tape, there was a few plays that he made, just getting deflections and disrupting plays, leading to late shot clock possessions for them. Some plays at the rim, that don't show up in the box score, but he was awesome tonight.
JJ, minus some, I guess, anomaly minutes through 6 games against them this season, it's looked a lot like that in terms of low scoring and kind of a rock fight. Is it fair? Have you seen enough in the series to kind of anticipate it's going to look to some degree like this moving forwards?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think you can sort of anticipate that, but we weren't ready for a rock fight to start game one. So I've seen enough of these and been in enough of these that you can have these low scoring games and sort of low offensive output games that are really physical, and all of a sudden somebody starts making threes, there's a few turnovers that leads to a high transition half, and somebody scores 120. That's just kind of how basketball works. Every game is a little different, but I think the mentality for both teams is to have a rock fight.
JJ, the timeout you were discussing a few minutes ago got a lot of play online because the TV captured some very colorful language, and obviously the guys can handle a few curse words, but
Yeah.
I'm just curious, when you do call a timeout, you do see that tide starting to turn, you want to make an impact to have the kind of run you guys had afterward. How do you sense when to really lay into them, and how do you sense when to not, so that you're not just always barking?
Yeah, I mean, I've done that in a game a handful of times in 6 preseason games, 82 regular season. It was at 90 games. I've done it a handful of times. It's not something that I want to do. It's something I'm more than comfortable doing. But I think tonight it was just more about getting that urgency button switched back on.
He had 25 in game 1 on 11 of 13 from the field, 3 for 3 from deep. Much more attention to him, obviously, from an intensity standpoint. And you see the result. Naz Reid, the same thing. We always call him the Laker killer. Tonight, not effective or impactful. I do want to kind of go to the flip side of all of this, obviously, from an offensive standpoint, because it always wasn't pretty either. But I will say the Minnesota Timberwolves, they were 20-1 when holding opponents to under 100 points. The Lakers with 94, led by Luka. A lot of talk coming in. How would he respond? He put it on himself. He had 31, 12, and 9. The 9 assists is what I am looking at, obviously, because just 1 in game 1.
Mm-hmm. Key point, Allie. He distributed the ball. Obviously, he's a threat. But, when he's a threat, collapsing the defense and finding guys, that makes, everybody gets involved. And I thought he did a good job of distributing the ball, early in the game, getting gave shots, hitting his own shots, and just, taking advantage of the mismatches that he had, even over Gobert right there. So, yeah, assist tonight for the Lakers was way better than it was 23 tonight. So versus 15 and the 1 he had. So, yeah, that ball's got to move. The defense for Minnesota is too good to ISO too much. It's got to move, and things really finny. Guys get cuts back doors. So that's the key. It's good to see he's, distributing the ball like he can.
For me, I was really excited the fact that he just didn't settle for the 3. Even though he shot 8 threes, out of the 20 shots, he got to the paint. He got guys involved. When Luka is able to get into the paint and get guys off their feet, he's able to find guys. You saw, Finney cutting baseline. You saw Vando in the corner. You saw all these guys he was distributing. And we know the guys coming off the bench and Rui and Jax Hayes, those guys need you to be the distributor, the facilitator. Whatever you do, get them involved, because they can't create shots like you, LeBron, and AR. So those guys depend on you. If he's able to do that more, that puts this Minnesota defense, who's really, really good, on their heels, because now they just can't pack the paint. Because the reason they're so good, because they've done this with Shaq, done this with Dream, done this with Tim. When you got a guy back there who can erase your mistakes, it allows you to be aggressive. But you can't be afraid to attack Gobert. It's like, you think about these guys. Gobert is a shot blocker, yeah, but try to dunk on him. That layup Finney missed? Dunk on him. Put the